Joining us now from IDBS is Sean Stowe, Principal Solutions Consultant. Welcome, Sean.
Thank you very much, Perry. It's a pleasure to be here. Go ahead and move that along. So I'm here today to introduce everyone to IDBS and how IDBS supports and enables the ability to sustain that process integrity across the product life cycles, and particularly within the cell and gene therapy space, where your throughput is more limited. So to kick it off, I had a bit of a poll question here that I'd like you to answer. And we like to take this one just so we understand where everyone is across the industry and their digital journey and how they're applying the tools and systems they have access to today. So moving forward, give you a bit of an introduction to IDBS. We are part of Danaher Life Sciences. And as a part of that group, we do get to work with a lot of really well-known entities across the industry, which makes us feel really empowered and special to be able to work within this climate and this family. But more importantly, IDBS as a whole, we've been around in this industry for 35 years. Actually over 35 years now. We've worked with some of the top global biopharma companies over this time for very long times, in some cases, more than a decade. But really what matters is that we build solutions, informatics solutions that span the entire life cycle, right? From R&D to manufacturing. In addition to being able to support GXP and non-GXP applications within the platforms. And that puts us in a very special place, right? Because it's not just getting through the development, getting you through your IND, it's that whole life cycle, the entire process of getting you ready for commercial manufacturing. And so for that, I want to introduce you to our two main CMC platform tools, right? That's going to be our IDBS Polar platform. That's our lab informatics system. And then our PIMS solution that will operate within your manufacturing and pilot manufacturing spaces. And what's nice about these is that we build these in such a way that they're able to communicate with each other and operate together. And the reason we do that is because in today's age, despite all the technology we have, all the innovation we have, we still operate in very disjointed systems, right? We still have a lot of data silos. Our instrumentation operate on their own operating solutions. That feeds into different databases. We're pulling in files, whether they're master Excel files, raw data files, MES information, all of that's coming together. It's also the metadata, right? The ancillary systems that we're working with. Is it our EHS systems, our quality management systems, inventory, log books, all the different tools that we see in a modern facility, right? We're having to pull all of that together, aggregate it, process it to better understand what is happening within our manufacturing processing and prepare ourselves for our filing, our audits, and ultimately continuous improvement. That's just really difficult, right? By the time you get to commercial manufacturing, you have years, maybe even decades worth of data that you have to be able to understand and process. So at IDBS, what we're looking to do is to provide tools that streamlines this data ingestion and this data context, right? It's to give you the story of your process. So we do that by providing not just configurable process-centric workflows and integrations into the platform, but by centralizing this in our digital data backbone, right? Putting it all in one place, allowing it to be in context with each other so that you can then derive insights, whether you're doing it within our platform or you need to extract that data from our platform to utilize in different tools across your company. Ultimately wanting to drive your ability to get to those process insights and process understanding faster and with high integrity and trust in the data that you're looking at. So how do we do this? We think of everything we do as an iterative cycle, right? We like to think of it as a lab loop. And it's not just a lab loop, right? Because it's also a manufacturing loop. It's that whole process of being able to plan, execute, aggregate and analyze that data, and then understand and extract insights from it. So for a lifecycle process, you're going through, you're identifying parameters, you're testing them, you're optimizing them, you're capturing that data, analyzing all of that parameter data, and then you have to be able to transfer and validate it. So what we're really good at in our industry is capturing the results and the parameter values from an execution within digital systems, whether that's an MES, ELN, or LIMS, whatever it may be. Where we tend to be a bit more old school is in capturing the actual process knowledge, right? Why did we make a choice? How are we going to move forward with that choice, right? That tends to live in reports, SOPs, and ultimately in that one engineer's mind who's been doing this process for 25 years, right? So what we want to do is provide a way to utilize and capture that process knowledge and allow you to use it moving forward throughout the life cycle. So one way we do that is by building our platform around a centralized process definition, right? So within this space, you're able to map out unit operations, the associated parameters, methods, and their parameters. You're then able to link that to your ontology systems or the embedded ontology system we have within our solutions, right? And then leveraging the values and ranges that you're developing throughout the lifecycle of the product through your characterization and validation. You're able to lock those in, and you're able to then begin monitoring how those are changing, linking those to experiment-based decisions for where those decisions take place, and ultimately being tied back to an audit report that you can then use. But also by having that, it's not just having a particular process definition. You're able to now use that as a library, right, for those parameters. So you maintain control and traceability throughout the process by simply being able to read those values into an execution workflow. It removes any type of transcription error or using outdated information. You can then apply those directly to the data as it's coming in. But the other beauty is being able to start taking that information, applying the parameters you have, the definitions, and being able to actually utilize that information to start designing your experiments. And so with our built-in DOE tools, you're able to connect directly to the experimental data within the platform and the parameter library that you've built, combining those to start mapping out and designing the experiment DOE studies that you want to perform, and delivering those into the system. This allows you to apply multiple different design models and review those design models to make it easier to operate, make it more efficient and more streamlined to start doing this work. From this part, it's not only just being able to do the DOE, it's in capturing the work you're doing, right? So capturing those executions, looking at the data as it's coming in, whether you're manually inputting it, importing that data, or you've connected to a larger one. It's then being able to quickly visualize that data and being able to summarize it, not just for a single execution, but doing it across multiple runs. And then being able to visualize that data that you've tabulated and you've collated across the runs, being able to observe how your process is behaving batch to batch, execution to execution, and then being able to export that data and access it in a report or deliver it in a roll-up. And from there, we can then further see the ability to work with that data and begin monitoring in near real time how the process is behaving, and also observe that behavior on individual levels for parameter, and being able to even furthermore apply our rules, Nelson rules, whatever it may be, to observe any trends or violations that we may see within the platform. But most importantly is being able to then extract that data, right? So these are all tools that are embedded within our system, but we also enable your ability to access this data, because at IDBS, we believe the data is your data. You should be able to use it however you see fit, right? So by enabling you to easily extract that data through SQL connectors and using it in external sources. Now, where do we get this data, right? Like I said, it's not just you capturing it manually in the system. That data is coming in from multiple sources. Whether it's the data coming in from your instrumentation or from your MES, historian, wherever you may be, it's also the ability to then synchronize that information with your entire ecosystem. So that's looking at it across sample managers, ERP, ontology systems, and then being able to get that information out. Additionally, we have several built-in data science tools that are available directly into the backend. So you can analyze all this data within platform to simply and easily be able to connect to the experiments and be able to utilize that information in platform to start running more complex modeling or connect to a larger data modeling system, such as a digital twin. And so from here, you can then use the onboard analytics to really begin to analyze that data. And so whether or not you need to do complex multivariate statistics, or you just need to be able to easily visualize the information that's within the platform, IDBS provides you with the tools available in the system. You can quickly and easily visualize using a variety of different charting styles. You can run different data modeling functionality. You can capture your experimental data in context to your metadata, right? What is the type of raw materials? What are lots? How are these impacting, how the quality of the raw materials impacting the results that you're seeing, right? And it's also building the basis for how you can then take this data that's already structured and transformed and turn it into AI-ready data when you're ready as an organization. So as we build up these statistical models, this data, this knowledge across the entire process, we need to be able then to deliver that knowledge into a tech transfer. And to do that, because we're using a core model, we're using that core process definition, we're then able to more easily, more readily transfer that information into the manufacturing space because it's using the same structure. So we can export it or migrate it from the lab informatics platform into the manufacturing platform. And then it's within this manufacturing platform space that we'll be able to more readily monitor what's happening within your environment and then execute more continuous improvements. So this is a look at our PIMS platform, where we now are sitting on top of all of the data systems within a manufacturing space, your MES, your historian, your LIMS, whatever that may be. And it's all driven by the same process definition. So the data coming in from your batches can be directly correlated with the information you're getting from your product development. So in short, IDBS is delivering a closed loop model for CMC that allows you to not only capture the manufacturing side, but also contextualize it with your development to provide an iterative continuous process validation as you move into commercial. Therefore, being able to capture development, transfer that knowledge to MSAT, and then start applying that knowledge and control it in manufacturing. That, I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Sean. Great job. Great presentation. You know, it amazes me how far we've gone in our ability to apply advanced data analytics. And you've been pathfinders for that work. So thank you for that and the whole team at IDBS. What leading indicators do you track that is a determination of overall data, the health of data integrity?
Right. So I think overall how we would do it is it's pretty much the full gambit, right? We're looking at applying your internal business rules from your quality groups, your quality SOPs, applying them with fully compliant audit trails, and then giving you the ability to view it from an operational analytics point of view, and also just the general overview of controlling as you go. Audit by exception, catching those real-time deviations so that people can correct in time. before it becomes a much larger violation down the stream.
So I'm interested in using AI, but I'm a little concerned about regulatory compliance. What are your thoughts?
So I think that's the quandary we all have at this point coming into it, right, Pei? Is how is AI going to really change? And so I think our approach to AI overall when it comes to this is by controlling the data, providing you fully compliant, fully structured data, and restricting that access to only your usage, you're able to better maintain and control the overall compliance of the AI model and data you're using, right? When you have a more shared model, that's when you start running into the risk of potential deviation from what the regulatory agencies want and are looking for.
Well, sound advice. Thank you. Very reasonable sound advice. Sean, thank you very much. Great presentation. Thanks for being with us today. Sean Stowe from IDBS.
Thank you, Perry.